If you want to be the best, you have to work harder than everybody here.
Just because anybody can do it doesn't mean that it's for everybody.
It's either you learn how to play the game or the game is going to play you.
I am producing $1 million a month.
You may not understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, but later you will.
All right, so we are here with Kevin Torres AKA Nano.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, my brother? Welcome to the Blueprint. How you doing today?
Bless, my brother. Thank you so much for having me, bro. I'm really grateful that, you chose me out of so many other people that are out there to be a part of this, bro. So I'm grateful to be here at the Blueprint, you said, right?
For sure, yes.
I'm grateful because the Blueprint, that's a good name, dog. The Blueprint to success.
Yeah, man. It's, we're trying to, obviously, lay out that blueprint for all those folks that not only that work with us, but the ones that are looking to get into business for themselves.
Yep.
So thank you for coming. I am honored to have you, believe it or not.
Appreciate that, bro.
Us starting a podcast from scratch. Sometimes you're not sure if you're going to reach out to people and like, am I big enough? Am I not big enough? And we appreciate you taking the time to come by as well, dude.
Yeah, the moment you send the invite, I was like, yeah, bro, I'm down for it. I'm always open to, because, I see your Instagram, I see what you represent, and at the end of the day, I love connecting with people that are on that same path as me, that want to give value to people, that want to give the blueprint for others that don't have it, because people sometimes don't have the access to the information. So you're doing these podcasts is free value for people that they can use to become successful and have that blueprint. So we appreciate you, bro, and congratulations on all the success, my brother.
Thank you. So with that being said, Nano, what we're going to be doing, bro, is I want you to walk us through everything, right? Your entire journey from where you were born, raised, your upbringing, to obviously your success and the industry that you're in. You're in an industry that is unique because I know how much money there's in your industry. I know how successful you can be, but there's always this cloud around it, and I want you to kind of walk people through everything that you do, dude. But let's start in the beginning, Nano. Where were you born? Kind of walk us through your upbringing, and then we'll transition to the rest of your journey.
Yeah,
afterwards.
Thank you, bro. So, my name is Neno. Everybody knows me as Neno, but my real name is Kevin Torres. I'm 30 years young, born and raised in New York, Washington Heights. So Washington Heights is known as Little Dominican Republic. Like the same way how there's a little, Cuba here and everything. We have it all as well. So, I grew up from humble beginnings, Dominican background. My mom and dad come from the Dominican Republic. My mom is a home attendant. She took care of old people. My dad has been a taxi driver for 50 years of his life. Yeah, bro. So I grew up in very humble beginnings. And from the moment I was young, the goal was always to be a professional baseball player. My dad put a bat and ball in my hand at a 7-year-old age. And, I fell in love with the game. I'm like, yo, what it would be like one day to play at Yankee Stadium and be able to have my parents, my family there, buy them a house in the Dominican Republic. And as a young kid, that was the goal. That was the dream, and as young kids, you dream big.
Of course.
And being from where I was, a lot of people don't make it out of the hood, and this was almost like my ticket. Like baseball's going to be my ticket out the hood to buy the house for the fam and do all these things. And I pursued it at a full level. I was obsessed with the game. I became really good at it. I was able to play it at a Division I level in college. So it went amazing for me. And unfortunately, at the end of my senior year in college, I hurt my shoulder.
Wow.
And it's funny how it all works because, I was this close, bro, to become a professional baseball player. As a senior in college, I was throwing 92 to 94 miles an hour. I was the ace of the program, exactly. Yeah. So, I was the top guy in the school and I was getting looked at. And it's funny how the last game of the season, listen to this, bro. I'm going into the game, and going into the game, my coach is telling me like, yo, we have about 10 to 15 professional scouts that are here and they're coming to make a decision on you for when they're going to draft you in a couple of weeks in the MLB draft. So this is your game. Like, all you got to do is go out there and show what you've been doing all year. You've been our guy all year. So I have my family in the stands. I have everybody just there watching. And that's the game I injured my shoulder, bro.
You injured it pitching, throwing?
Pitching.
Damn.
So I go from throwing 92 to 94 miles an hour to throwing 75, 76, 77. Because it was like almost like something clicked in my shoulder. And I couldn't get it around to throw the same miles an hour. So, at that moment, it's my last game of the season. The draft is in 3 weeks. And I'm like, yo, what am I going to do with my life?
How old are you at this point?
I'm 21 years old. I'm a senior in college, And long story short, bro, baseball's a business, and they start asking around like, yo, what's good with Torres? What's happening with him? How is he? But they never got a chance to get around to figure out what was wrong with my shoulder because MRIs, all of that stuff. So it never happened in time. So they never took the time to invest back into me. Right. Because it's an investment that these teams are going to do. So they were like, yo, we're not going to invest into an injured player. So I never got the chance. And from there, bro, it was hard, bro. it was one of the hardest things that I ever went through in my whole life.
I can imagine.
You know, because, you know, you got your mom, your dad, my little brother, the whole neighborhood.
Like everybody's depending on you too.
Depending on me. I'm the kid when I'm walking down the streets. You know, people are like, yo, Neno, when you make it, bro, I need my tickets to Yankee Stadium.
Don't forget about me.
Don't forget about me. Like, I'm that kid. Everybody has this vision for me, and I'm doing my best to live up to this vision. And now to see it go away, it was like, damn.
And was it like a single pitch, a play that you felt it click?
Yeah, it was one throw. It's just a pitch.
Boom,
It's like in a moment.
forever.
In a moment. Literally in a moment. And
that's crazy.
It's crazy how that happens, I know. And I remember sitting there, even still telling you the story right now, I remember the moment, like, how everything just slowed down after that when you kind of start realizing, like, yo, it's over.
Did it hit you right away, or were you still hopeful that maybe if you worked hard, you'll have another chance to kind of show what you have?
So look at this. So after that all ends, I don't get a call. It's 3 weeks later, I don't get a call. I'm still hopeful. I'm the never give up type of guy. Like, whatever it takes, this is my dream. I'm not going to give up on it. So my coach at the time tells me, yo, why don't you go to DR and try to see if you could find, an opportunity to sign as a free agent in DR.
Right.
So he sends me to DR to spend the summer out there, bro. And I'm talking about in the middle of nowhere, in a campo somewhere, bro. And
this is still you, obviously. You said humble beginnings, so it's not like you have a lot of money.
Nah, bro. This is... Bro, I'm telling you, as poor as you can ever imagine, I was there working out with 13, 14, 15-year-old kids that come from nothing, bro, that were showing up to the field with broken shoes. Like, and I remember going to this place looking for an opportunity, and I spent 4 months out there, but my arm never came back around, bro. It never came back around and there was 16-year-olds doing what I was doing at 22 now, 23.
The ship sailed in the DR at least,
The ship sailed. So at that point, I finally realized, like, yo, now it's time to hang it up, you know? And that was, I hung it up exactly September 2017 was when I got back. And funny how it works, 5 days after I get back, one of my boys calls me that I played baseball with. Yo, Neno, I'm still doing this, digital marketing, network marketing thing, bro. I know that now it's over, bro. I know you're looking for a job. Yo, come check out this presentation. Come check out what it is that I got going on. Okay. And from there, I show up, and next thing you know...
It's the beginning of the new chapter?
Beginning of a new chapter 5 days later, bro.
Before we get into that chapter, because there's a couple of things that you touched on that I want to make sure we cover here. So you played sports from the moment you were 7 to you were 21.
Yep.
You made it pretty far, farther, even though obviously you fell short of your ultimate goal.
Of course.
God had different plans for you. But for you to get that far, I think some of the traits, and that's what I want you to talk about, because they translate to what you do now. They translate 100%. To business very well. And some of the best, at least in my business, in the insurance business, some of our best agents, I always say the best people to recruit are former law enforcement, former military, and former athletes.
Yep.
How do you think that shaped you up? What were some of those, 15, 16, 17-year-old you in high school? How hard did you train? Kind of walk us through that a little bit. And if you could, because I think it's going to be relevant to the rest of the conversation.
Yeah, I think the most important part of it all that you learn in baseball is discipline. Okay. The power of discipline, going to every day, going to practice, doing what you're supposed to do. Even on the days that I was tired. I remember when I was 15 years old, I grew up watching Kobe Bryant, all these top guys. And I embodied the Mamba mentality, which was be the first one at the gym, last one out, work harder than everybody. You do 10 push-ups, I'm doing 12. You work out for an hour, I'm gonna work out for an hour and a half. Like, I always wanted to all work whoever the best was. So when I was in high school, bro, 15, 16, 17 years old, while everybody was sleeping at 5, 6 in the morning and waking up at 7, 8 to go to school, I was up at 5, 6 in the morning, running to Yankee Stadium every single day, because running to Yankee Stadium and back from where I live was a 3-mile run. So I would run to Yankee Stadium, 1.5 miles, run back. And that was always the thing. I'm running towards my dreams. Yeah, this is where one day I'm going to pitch. And I'm 15, 16 years old, running like every day.
What inspired you, Nano, to think like that at that age, bro? Because I know so many talented kids that the quote, right? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Exactly.
That exists for a reason, because kids are talented, but you're immature at that age. Most people are, at least. Where do you think that came from? Is it your parents? Where did that inspiration and that mindset at that age come from?
It came, I always say this, I always tell people it came a lot from my parents, but it was also the coach that I had at the time. Okay. My pitching coach at the time, his name is Rafa. He had that mindset. He always told me, like, Neno, if you want to be the best, you have to work harder than everybody here. You have to find out who the best is, and you got to outwork him each and every single day. So that was always my mindset. I was like, yo, this guy wakes up at 7 a.m., he's doing this. I got to do more. So I was waking up at 6 a.m. I became obsessed with the idea of how can I become the best at what it is that I was doing. And I wasn't going to leave no stone unturned. You know, if I had to die to, you know, run up a hill, I would do it. You know, if I had to run, whatever it took for me to make that goal a reality, I was willing to do it. And it also had my parents. You know, I had, you know, coming from where I come from, you know, you want to do so much for them. I have really, really good parents. I've been very fortunate. I thank God every day that he's given me very amazing parents, bro, because they sacrifice so much for me. And I watch the sacrifices that they make. You know, my dad works 7 days a week as a taxi driver, wakes up at 5 a.m. He's on the road by 6 and he works till 5 every day, bro. Still to this day, bro.
In New York, right?
In New York.
Which is like, the mecca of cab drivers and traffic, and it's a tough job.
And I'm a young kid, and I'm like, yo, my father works 7 days a week at 50. You know, I'm a young kid, 15, 16 years old. I got my whole life ahead of me.
The least you could do is work hard.
The least I could do is work hard so that one day he don't have to pick up a passenger again, you know, so that one day my mom don't have to take care of these old people anymore. So I had like a different level of passion and just hunger inside of me, bro, that I was willing to do whatever it took to make it happen. And that's kind of like where a lot of that, the discipline, the hard work, you know, the resiliency, dealing with failure, getting back up, like that's where I developed a lot of it. And then it's transpired and is now here with business and with everything that we do now as well.
All right. So you blow your shoulder out. You can't continue to pitch. You go to the DR for a couple months. No success there. You come back.
Success.
You said a homie from college that you played with?
In high school. We won a championship together in high school.
Nice. So he tells you about this opportunity. What did you know about what he was doing, and what did you expect going into whatever meeting or whatever setting you went into to find out about the opportunity?
I had a small idea of it. I knew that he got into trading.
Okay.
I knew he was trading currencies, and it's funny because while I was out in the Dominican Republic, he had sent me a website where you could study for free, like a free course almost kind of thing. And he was like, yo, study this in the meantime while you're out there so that when you get back, you could have a head start already. So while I was out there, it's so funny, I didn't have Wi-Fi at the house that I was staying at. So I would have to walk to the corner to the grocery store.
Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic. I'm in the hills, bro.
Were you showering
with
cold water and shit over there?
Cold water, dirty water, and when it rains, the water turns brown. So you have to shower with brown water. And there was times that the water went out, so you had to go shower in the river and then the dams and stuff like that. But
so he had sent you a text course to study.
Send me a course to study, and I would walk to the grocery store where they had the Wi-Fi, connect to the Wi-Fi, and study from there at night after practice. But then when I got back, I had already an idea, but he had already started to make success. So I hear like, yo, he was making good money a month. Gotcha. You know, he was making 5-10 bands a month now, trading right from the comfort of his home and phone and stuff. And you know, now I'm seeing like, yo, this works. And this is a guy that didn't go to college. Right. You know, he dropped out of college and he wasn't as good in baseball and he was making it happen. And he was my brother. And I'm like, yo, if he did it, then I could do it. You know, we shared clothes. He eats at my house. You know, he sleeps at my house. So I'm like, yo, this is my brother. If he could do it, I could do it. So it was like a no-brainer. I was like, you know what? And it was funny, bro. Look at how it works. I had went and set up a couple of interviews in a couple of places to see, but nobody had called me. So in the meantime, my idea was, you know what, let me do this. Let me try this.
Until you find a real job?
Until somebody calls me back and I'll find a real job. This will be like my temporary thing. In the meantime, I'll do it from my house. And it just started like that. And I never thought in my wildest dreams that it would become what it has come today.
That's crazy. And what did you study in college then?
Sports management.
Sports management. Did you want to pursue a career in that field?
Yes, that was like plan B, plan C. Like God forbid baseball don't happen.
Right,
maybe
once you blew out your arm, was that kind of like coming?
Because I got opportunities because you know when you play baseball, people. So I got like internships to go work at like the Texas Rangers.
Nice.
But I would have to move over there. It was a lot. So there was like a couple of opportunities I had gotten that I didn't really take advantage of. Yeah. But my idea was if I didn't play baseball, then I would have maybe sports agent, something in the field, something that would include sales. I feel like I would have been good at anything in sales within the business. So that was kind of like the idea, but never got into it because, you know, this ended up working out for me.
Now, you're a great speaker. Were you always this good of a talker?
No, bro. I actually took public speaking in college online because I was so scared to do it in public. My first, I tell people this story all the time. People always say, it's so crazy how it works because my first, in college when I was getting my associates in a school in Oklahoma, one of the requirements was a public speaking class. And the first class I go and you had to do a speech on a personal object. So I had to pick an object and I had to talk about it for 30 seconds.
So off the top of your head?
Yeah, off the top of your head. That was like our first day. So I go up there, I have my glove at the time because I had just got out of practice. And bro, public speaking, I don't know if you know, but it's the number one fear in the world. It's one of the hardest things to do. So for me, I'm doing this for the first time. I don't know none of these people. I go up there, bro, I'm stuttering. Like I'm shaking up. My hands are like this. My voice is cracking. And that experience, it was almost like a traumatic experience for me after that. Like I didn't want to speak in public anymore. But when I joined the business, when I became a network marketer and I started to understand and I saw the people that were making money were the people in the front of the room speaking.
100%.
The people doing the presentations, the people doing the work. So I'm like, Neno, you're going to have to overcome that fear. So it started with Zoom calls at first, and then
you developed that skill.
And then I developed it and I started to practice. I started to, but what also helped was I read a lot of books, bro. So I started to study the books, learn the vocabulary, learn how to, deliver information and how to articulate myself. Right. And, as you start to do it more and more and more, you start to develop it. And over the years, I just got really good because it was just a habit after a while.
And I think from my 2 cents in it is, you're always going to get a little bit nervous. It's just human nature. But the more confident you are in the way you articulate things, and obviously in what you're speaking about, the easier it gets. Because I don't speak like you do in the sense of in front of thousands of people, but I've spoken at a few insurance conferences.
Of course.
And it's one of those things when you walk in, you're a little nervous, but once you start doing it, you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so once you get in flow,
it becomes now you're in a rhythm and you get in the zone and you kind of just keep it going. So yeah, I second that, dude. I know exactly what you're talking about when you say that you were nervous in the beginning. And
it was a lot, bro. I used to have to meditate sometimes before my speeches, like, relax, bro, relax, because you get so nervous and
your heart races, even though
your heart races. It feels like it's about to come out of your chest, but you go out there and then you do it so many times that you just start to develop, like you said, the confidence, the belief, and you're like, I got this. It's just another day, it's just another conversation.
You trade it for success too. I think kind of trick your mind into making it okay with you. So
and then you start also not caring what people are gonna say. Like after a while, like, bro, so what if I mess up? I'll laugh it off and we keep going.
100%, yeah. What's the worst that can happen?
What's the worst that can happen? If it was so easy, why don't they do it?
Especially in your business, bro, everybody wants to be on stage. So at the end of the day, like, you also got to understand the posture you have by the getting on stage speaking about what you do. So without a doubt, bro. But I want to still go back to your buddy from high school that got you into the business.
Please.
Because I want to go through the beginning, because everybody sees what you do now and you're inspiring, dude. You're a great speaker. The couple people I told you were coming on the podcast today were like, oh my God, I love him. But it's hard. I know how hard it is. So I want you to walk me through, okay, you study, you got ahead, you got back. When did you make your first dollar? How soon after you got into the business? And how hard was that, let's call it the first year in business? Kind of what were some of the challenges you faced?
Yeah, it was hard because you got to think about it. I came from just doing baseball my whole life. So I had never worked a job. Yep. I had no experience, no resume, no nothing. So this is the first time I'm doing anything that's going to earn me money. My whole life was all baseball. So when I came in, it was like a brand new field, brand new everything. Like I knew absolutely nothing, bro. So it took me till my first 90 days to start making some money. And a lot of it was more about who I was. I think my reputation helped a lot because people were like, yo, Neno went to school. He has his degree. If he's doing something, then it's worth at least taking a look at it.
It must be real.
It must be something. So when I started I was able to get success within my first 90 days because my name, everybody knew who I was. I was the captain of every team I've ever played for. So like I was always a leader in my life. So when I started doing it, people naturally just were like, yo, if you're doing it, Neno, then I'm willing to at least give it a shot. So I was able to make money within my first 90 days, but it was hard, bro, because that first year I didn't know what I was doing. A lot of it was like I was telling you earlier. It was like ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. I was just ignorant about everything, but I was on fire. I was excited. I'm like, yo, I'm learning how to trade. I'm learning how to make money. Like I'm learning how to invest in crypto and all these great things. And, I'm sharing the business because I believe in the business. I believe in the product. I'm like, yo, this works. Like I made money. Like I saw the money in my account. Like this is real. This is not like what people think it is. Because a lot of people have an outside perspective and then there's the inside perspective. It's like the people that watch the game from the stands and the people that are actually in the game.
100%.
The game is completely different. Analogy. So I'm in the game now. I was once the guy on the outside, like, does people really make money? Like, you're kind of like, and then I'm in the game and I'm like, yo, people, this works. Like
I'm getting deposits.
I'm getting deposits. It's hitting my account. Like this is real. I'm paying taxes on this, you know, like I got a 1099. So I'm starting to see this. But it still was difficult the first year because you're trying to figure it out. You're getting your feet wet. You're learning the skills.
Were you recruiting mostly, you would say, or?
I had to.
Yeah, like the nature of the business is like that, no?
Yeah, it was because of my situation. Like somebody, for example, that comes in and has a job, they have an income, they have money to come in and trade and invest right away.
Right.
Because they have an income. So for me, I didn't have an income. Remember, I'm not working a job.
Right.
I'm living at my parents' house. I'm 23 years old. My mom and dad are leaving me $10 a day each. So my mom leaves me 10, my dad leaves me 10. So I have $20 a day. That's my only income that I have at the time.
For you to eat.
And that was for me to eat while they were at work till they got home, and then my mom would get home, she would cook, and that was it. But that was my only income at the time. So in the business, when I came in, everything I was doing, like learning how to trade, I was doing it on something called like demo accounts. It was like accounts where it was practice, but it was still like it was real. The markets were real, but I had fake money in a way. But it was practice. So I was like, okay, let me practice. But in the meantime, I'm going to do the referral side of the business, where I'm going to refer people to the platform. And as I get, a certain amount of people in, the company will start to compensate me for it. So, for example, you get 10 people to join, you make $600 a month.
Nice.
So now I'm making $600 a month, which is $150 every week.
Right.
Now I'm taking this money and I'm putting it into the trading, and I'm putting it into the crypto. So I'm reinvesting it. So I had to do it that way because of my situation. I have people that come in and they do it and they have the money right away and they just get right into the trading. So it's kind of like you kind of pick and choose what the journey it is that you want to do, but both work, both are amazing and both are, ethical as well.
At what point, do you think that you had that breakthrough when you went from like, okay, I'm hustling, grinding. Yeah, you had success, but you mentioned that you're making some money, throwing it back into the platform to trade. Was there a moment where you're like, damn, I'm doing good and like I'm good at this? Or was it more like you just kept your head down and you looked back up and all of a sudden you were far?
Bro, it was an event I went to. I went to an event in Vegas. I remember the dates, March 16th through the 18th. Okay. Remember like it was yesterday. I go to this event and I'm finally like, I'm out of the hood now. So like, I'm not in Washington Heights in the corners, just, with the boys. Like I'm in Vegas. I've never been to Vegas. This is my first time in Vegas. I'm leaving the city, and they say that once your mind expands, it can never go back, 100%. So I go to this event and there's 5,000 people here, and there's 5,000 people that are just like me. They're learning about trading, investing, network marketing, all these things. And there's people on stage, bro. And these people are making $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month. And they're retiring their parents. Their parents are there. They're crying on stage. And I'm seeing all of this and I'm like, yo, but this could be me. Like, these are people that look just like me, that come from same neighborhoods as me, same background, same everything. And these people are doing what I want to do. What I wanted to do with baseball. 100%. Like, I wanted to retire my mom. I wanted to one day be able to pay off a house for my mom. And I'm seeing these people do it on stage.
How long have you been in the business at this point?
I'm in the business 6 months.
Okay, so that's when it became.
So I'm in the business 6 months, and then at that moment I had a click moment. I'm like, yo, I'm not taking this business serious, bro. When you start something and you're kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You're like, one day you do it, you're making excuses. 1 week you're on, the next week you're off. 1 month you're hot, the next month you're cold. And I was kind of like that for the first 6 months. I was still kind of like not established. Gotcha. That event was what made me go all in. They say there's 2 days in the business: the day you get started, the day you decide to go all in. So I got started September 27, and then I went all in March 18. Definitely. That event, it just clicked for me, bro. And I was never the same. Like, that was when I said, all right, I'm going all in. I'm going to learn this. I'm going to study all the books. I'm going to read everything. I'm going to go to every event. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to get uncomfortable. I'm going to go on social media. I'm going to talk about my business proudly. I'm going to stop being so scared. I'm going to forget the criticism. Like, it was just like I went. It was just like everything clicked, and I was like, I knew exactly what I had to do, bro. And literally a year and a half from that decision, I became a 6-figure earner in the business.
Beautiful. So it took you 2 years basically for you to get to
2
6
years.
figures.
Literally 2 years it took me to get to 6-figure income.
Nothing to do with your college degree.
Nothing to do.
Do you think,
zero.
How long do you think it would have taken you to get to 6 figures if you would have pursued a career in what you were looking at?
Maybe 5 to 10 years.
You probably wouldn't be there yet.
No.
Yeah. Go figure it out and the way it works. Can you describe by your own words what network marketing actually is? Because I think a lot of people are not even sure of what it is.
For me, network marketing, the way I explain it to people so that it could be simple is it's a network of people providing it's a network of people that are providing a service and a product to the people in the world that need it, right? Okay. So it's a community, right? For example, myself, I have a community where all of us, what we focus on is we focus on providing a service to a network of people. So our service is education, right? And every network marketing company provides a specific service or a specific product. Right. So for us, we're service based.
Gotcha.
Because our service is education, teaching people how to invest, make money online, e-commerce, so on and so forth. There's other network marketing companies, very popular one, Herbalife. It's a product based company. They provide protein shakes and weight loss stuff and, all these popular ones, but they're legit. You know, it's just, you know, a lot of these companies, what people don't understand is in network marketing, these companies don't pay millions of dollars for advertisement. We don't pay for advertisement. You've never seen a network marketing company with a commercial. What they do is instead of investing millions of dollars into advertisements, they put millions of dollars into a compensation plan. And it becomes more word of mouth.
Right.
You refer people and we'll pay you for the service that you provide to the company. And as you're able to keep customers in the business, the company will pay you what you're worth based off of the compensation plan and how aggressive it is. But it's just based off of how you look at it. You know, every business is very similar. I'm sure life insurance, car sales, health insurance.
Everything is recruiting if you think about it.
Everything. You know, Amazon, he had to recruit all those people for 100%. Them to build, you know, Facebook, Instagram, everything it is just, it's all the way people look at it because everything is sales if you think about it. You had to sell me to come here today.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes you got to sell your wife on an idea,
100%.
you know, you have to sell your kids on, you know, not doing something. Everything is sales in life. It's just sometimes I feel like when it comes to network marketing, because they say the pyramid scheme or you got to sell to make money, they kind of let that get into it. But in reality, if you think about it, when people tell me about the pyramid schemes is a system that has no product or service behind it, and it's illegal.
Right.
You know, in network marketing, we have a product or service, so we're not a qualified.
Brother, I came from selling cell phones, right? That's what I did before I got into insurance. When I was a rep, I had an assistant manager, I had a store manager, I had a district manager, I had a regional manager. They had VPs and RVPs and all that shit. And it was one sale that I did, and all of them got a piece of it in a commission. Which is the textbook definition of what you guys do. So I'm with you 100%.
Same thing. Same idea.
So what do you think? So two questions. One is, why do you think it has such a bad stigma, one? And then the other question is, what do you think separates the people that make it to the ones that don't?
The reason, that's two great questions. The reason why people don't, the reason why it has the bad stigma is because in network marketing, there's no barrier of entry. Like there's not like, hey, you got to have a degree. You know, anybody could do it. That's the blessing, but it's also the curse.
Gotcha.
You know, anybody could do it is a blessing because anybody could come in, whether you have a degree or not, or whether you could come out of jail. I have people that have came out of jail and joined the business.
That discriminate.
They don't discriminate. It doesn't matter what race you are, where you came from, what age, anybody could do the business. But it's also the curse as well, because people will join these individuals that have no experience in business, that have never built a successful network marketing organization, don't have any system, don't have anything in place. They join those people, and because they joined the wrong person, they had a bad experience. And they think that the bad experience is because of the company, but it was more because of the person.
Right.
The people you join determines everything. 100%. You know who you follow will determine where you go. So if you're not following somebody that's leading with the right intentions, that doesn't know the business, that's never made money in network marketing, and you join them, you're basically setting yourself up for failure. So majority of people in this space, they fail. You know, 97% of people in network marketing fail.
Wow.
You know, so I was like, okay, and I used to know those numbers. I used to hear that, damn, 97%, that's a lot. Out of 100, that's 97.
There's 10 of us here.
There's 10 of us here.
9.3 of you are not going to be here.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, don't focus on the ones who fail. Focus on the ones that are succeeding. What are the 3% doing?
Right.
So that's what my mindset became. I'm like, let me focus on that. And remind me the second question again.
So the second question, and that's a great answer, dude. Before we get to the second question, I agree with you. I think just because anybody can do it doesn't mean that it's for everybody.
It is.
And I think it goes back to setting the right expectations. We discussed that earlier. The other question I had is, so you're successful. What do you think some of the attributes, and you've recruited thousands of people.
Of course.
So you see people that succeed and people that don't. What do you think the difference between those two people are?
There's a couple, bro, but one of the ones that set me apart from everybody else was I became a student of the game.
Okay.
A lot of people don't want to be students. People just want to make the money. You know, people just want to come in, chase the money, chase the money, chase the money. They don't come in chasing the skill, the knowledge, the wisdom, actually learn the game. Because one thing my mentor always told me, he said, Neno, is either you learn how to play the game or the game is going to play you.
Sure.
Most of these people, the reason why they quit is because the game was playing them. They never learned how to play the game. He said, you want to be here 10, 15 years from now? You want to be a legend in this industry? Learn the game. So what did I do, bro? I read all the books, bro. I've read every book that you can imagine on personal development, network marketing. I studied the structure. I was the type of guy when I would go to the events, the conventions, let's say you were a successful 7-figure earner in our company, I would show up with 10 lists of questions that I had for you. What was your favorite book? How did you deal with failure? How do you develop leaders? So on and so forth. I would record it as you're talking to me, and I would go home, study that. Yo, this was the book he said, okay, I'm gonna read this book. This was the audio that I gotta listen to. I became obsessed with studying the game, asking the questions, reading all the books, going to all the events. And once I understood how the game was played, then it was easy
Right.
after that, because now I know the game.
Right.
I know the skills I gotta develop. I know the books I gotta read. I know how to say this. I know how to handle objections. I know how to close. I know how to present. I know how to promote. I know how to do everything
You're
now.
prepared.
I'm prepared now. So it's like showing up to a basketball court, and I know how to do everything. I know how to lay up. I know how to shoot. I know how to dribble. I know how to handle. I know how to do everything.
Back to the Mamba mentality, bro.
Mamba mentality.
Put in the reps when no one's watching. When it's game time, it's easy.
Exactly. And I took it serious. I was serious about it. The same mindset I had in baseball, like I told you, obsessed. First one there, last one to go to sleep. And you know what I loved? I realized, I was like, yo, how do I set myself apart from everybody? People didn't like to read, bro. People don't like to read. Believe it or not, people don't read. People don't get the and the gems and the book. All the secrets are in the books.
100%.
All of them are in the books, bro.
People have left the clues behind. You just gotta go get them.
You just gotta go get them. So I became obsessed with that.
Gotcha.
Bro, I got to the point I was reading a book a week, bro. That's how much I just wanted the information. And I'm broke, bro. Broke, busted, disgusted. Don't know what I want in life, and I'm just like, yo, I gotta figure this out.
That's a common denominator with everybody that have sat in this chair. Is they're big on reading books, on whether it's business, self-development, whether sales, whatever the case may be. But I agree with you. I think that's probably the one common denominator, along with the discipline and
the hard work, dealing with failure.
100%. I think it's kind of the same in any business, but development is so underrated, dude. And obviously, I met you at a little sales training we did, and you came and you spoke, and everybody loved you so much. Can you talk about that a little bit? Like, do you speak at events just within your industry, or are you open to speaking at other events? Kind of, what does that look like from a mentorship standpoint?
Yeah, no, I speak to everybody, bro. I love keeping my options open. So I've done events for all kind of people, all kind of different businesses. As a matter of fact, just now, I came back from New York and I was speaking at a little baseball academy. One of my cousins, he's running a whole baseball academy.
Awesome.
He had me come speak to the kids. So I love speaking to the kids, college platforms, going and speaking to athletes, all different type of sales industry, solar. I've done life insurance, health insurance, real estate, you name it. I've done them big in network marketing as well. Like I'm big, like I love to spread the word, because everything that I teach is, the mindset, the leadership, the spiritual side of success, the stuff that we need, sometimes the stuff that doesn't get enough focus, that it really is the foundation of what builds anything. Because I'm sure if anybody that has sat down here will tell you that mindset is one of the most
100%.
important things for
90%.
our business.
In my opinion, bro,
it's 90% of it.
And arguably probably more to me, at least.
Exactly. And the thing is, too many people focus on the 10%, the work, which is important. 100%. We got to put the work in. But if you don't have the 90%, which is the foundation, the work is not going to translate, So that was kind of like where my passion for the books and learning the mindset and developing it came from. I was like, yo, you know what? I'm going to get this mindset stuff down, and everything else will just figure itself out.
You give it back, do the thing, obviously, it reciprocates and comes back times 1,000, which is great. So obviously, needless to say, you read a lot. What else? What are some pointers you have for the people watching as far as mindset and preparation, and kind of what does maybe your routine look like for you to prepare for every single day?
Morning routines for me are everything, bro. So I was, because I come from a baseball background, I come from a background where, I get to the field, I do this, I do that. Everything was a routine in baseball. So when I came into this, I needed a routine for myself. I'm like, what's going to be your routine for yourself? And I started reading books and I started to understand what it was. So my routine is still up early. I'm big on prayer and gratitude in the beginning of the day, not touching my phone. I'm huge on goal cards, carrying around a card with your goals written on it, speaking them out loud every day to yourself. Still to this day, I'm waking up, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm earning $100,000 a month.
Right.
I'm writing it down. I have it pasted to my mirror in my bathroom. So as I'm brushing my teeth, I'm reading it. I'm seeing myself, we're going to get to $100,000 a month. I am $100,000 a month earner. I am a millionaire. Like, I'm speaking this now. So I've been doing this since I was broke.
Manifest it,
I was broke saying I'm going to make $10,000 a month, $15,000 a month, $30,000, $40,000. Like, I've created and manifested every single goal, every single income since I was making $600 a month, So I know that this stuff works. Is you become what you think about most of the time. Gotcha. So I focus on goal card reading. I read every morning. I do a lot of visualization as well. Closing my eyes and just putting myself in the future, putting myself there. What car am I driving? What house am I living in? Seeing myself speaking on stages. Like, bro, when I was living at my parents' house, I would see myself speaking on stages all around the world, thousands of people screaming my name, Neno. Neno, I would see myself doing these things. And today I live them things. Like everything I once put in my mind, I live it today.
That's crazy.
And I live it, bro. But I visualized it like I saw it 3 years ago. And sometimes you don't know when it's going to happen, and then it starts happening. And there's been times that I'm there. There's videos of like people that have recorded me, and I just pause and I just take it all in, because it was like, yo, you don't know how many times I closed my eyes and I saw this exact moment. And now that you're there, you're like, you get the chills, bro.
Bro, I feel that. So you have no idea.
Yeah, I get the chills. So I do a lot of visualization. People forget how important their imagination is. You know, that's one of the most important things that we have in our lives is our imagination, but people don't use it.
Mind is so powerful.
So powerful. So visualizing every day was key for me. Reading every day. Journaling. It was something that I was very against in the beginning, but I started to see the power in it. And writing my goals down every day, how I feel. I write congratulations letters to myself. Like, you know, coming up now, December, like at the end of the year, I'll write a congratulations letter to myself, congratulating myself for everything I'm going to accomplish in 2025. Like I'll go to December 31st, 2025, and I'll think from there. Okay, Nano, what have you accomplished this year? Yo, you made $100,000 a month. Congratulations, bro. You know, you bought your mom and house, dad that house. Like I'll create it in my mind. So I do a lot of journaling.
You're mentally
as well.
already there. You know,
already there. I'm with the end in mind. So, you know, I've been doing that for years now. So I do that every morning, bro. And I listen to a lot of like podcast audios, and then obviously the gym and, you know, so on and so forth. But I've been doing that for the last 5 years, like committed to that.
That's awesome, bro. I mean, and obviously it shows in the results that you have. And it's funny because I think when you mentioned brushing your teeth, the cards, I have in my mirror, you ask my wife, I grabbed red lipstick from her thing and I wrote exactly kind of like in your same deal. Mine was how much we were going to produce as an agency and things that I wanted. I just wrote it with red lipstick. So when I woke my happy ass up, the biggest year in my career was 2022. I set my alarm at 3:50 in the morning the entire year. I went to the gym at 5 a.m. So when I was brushing my teeth half asleep at 4:15 in the morning, I am reading with red as bright lipstick, we will produce $1 million a month. But you know, well, actually, let me rephrase. I am producing $1 million a month.
I am producing $1 million.
And dude,
it happened.
Everything, even when we're talking offline about the other businesses that I have, these are businesses that before I was ready, I knew I was gonna have. Like a lot of the things that I do now, I was doing way too prematurely and kind of naively a few years back. But it's come full circle to where everything that I once knew I was gonna have is starting to become real. And just like you, bro, I get chills, man. I think there's a lot of similarities with a lot of the stories that people that go to the level we are, because obviously we got so many more levels to crack that's not even funny.
For sure, yeah. This is the beginning. And
the Kobe Bryant thing, that's when you really got me, bro. I got my license on February 3rd of 2020. Kobe passed January 26th.
Yep.
That was a Sunday. I was in Disney World.
I remember where I was too.
I got back that Sunday night. It felt, I mean, anybody who watches sports felt like they lost somebody they knew, you know?
Yeah. It was a sad day, bro. I remember,
I can I'm saying it.
Yep.
I studied. I didn't go to college. I went to college like 2 semesters because my mama made me. I studied that insurance license like I was in 5th grade studying when my mom would sit with me and make me study, because I had, you know, all the Kobe reels popping up and all the, you know, rest at the end, not in the middle, and everything, you know, job's not finished. And that pushed me to pass my insurance exam the first try when I really hadn't studied, bro, probably in 15 years. Wow. So it's funny because there's some similarities to the stories when it comes to, you know, the things that motivate you. And part of the reason why I love getting people on Neno is because even though it is the same concept with most of the stories, you get to hear different versions of it. Yep. And if anything else fails, dude, I was telling you earlier, our single goal here is to hopefully touch one person, dude. If we touch one person with this podcast, bro, you're making a positive impact on this planet Earth, dude. And that's what it's all about. And you're doing a tremendous job with that, dude. So kudos to you.
Thank you, bro.
Couple more things I want to touch on real quick. When you started having all this success, right, all your visions are becoming a reality. You know, you're getting chills on stage because you had picture yourself doing this, and now it is real. What is going through your mind, bro? Because I still feel so real to me at times when I look at the shit that we have. You know, what did it feel like for you to start seeing everything come to fruition? And, you know, and obviously you're making your parents proud, and all the naysayers, you're proving them wrong. Now they want to work with you a few years later because they see you got it, because I know that's happening.
100%.
What is that like, you know, from your perspective? What is going through Neno's mind as you're becoming this successful person in the industry that you knew you were going to be successful, but everybody thought that you wouldn't, and the odds were 97% that were stacked against you?
Stacked against me.
What does that feel like, Neno?
You know, it was an incredible sense of accomplishment, bro, for me. It felt good because, Also even in baseball, bro, I was always the underdog. I was always the one that had to come from the bottom. I always had to be the one to work the hardest to earn my spot. And when I came into this, it was a similar journey. Nobody believed in me. People thought I was gonna fail. Everybody doubted me. Everybody laughed at me. So when I was there, now I'm like, wow, like, yes, it feels good to prove these people wrong, but I was just more proud of myself, bro. Like, I was like, bro, I'm so proud of you, Nano, because like, there were so many times, bro, that I could have quit. There were so many people that if I would have listened to them, bro, who knows, I would probably still be on the streets, hanging out, doing nothing with my life, But because I stayed true to myself, I stayed true to the vision, I was like, yo, we're going to make this happen. I was just, bro, in just pure gratitude, giving all the glory and honor and thanks to God for putting me in that position, because I could have been anyone else, bro. I could have just been another statistic, somebody that just went the regular route. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's the way you want to go and you want to settle for that, and that's fine. But for me, it was like, I'm going to live a life with no limits. I'm going to live a life where I'm going to go out and accomplish everything that I said I was going to accomplish. And I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm never going to quit. I'm never going to stop. Whatever. Like, it was just, I was in that mindset, bro. And it just felt so good to know that I had accomplished something that I had worked so hard for. And even though it was just a small stepping stone in the journey, it felt good to, look back and be like, yo, wow, look at how far we came. We were just broke the other day, living at your mom's house. And now you're here living in Miami, making 6 figures, traveling all around the world. You have a podcast, you have this, and, everything is just working in my favor now. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, wow, thank you. Just pure gratitude, bro. Just so much thank you, bro. There's just times, bro, I sit down and I'm just looking around and I'm just, bro, sometimes I cry by myself, bro, just like of just joy.
Of course.
Of like, yo, gracias, thank you,
I get
bro.
The feeling, bro.
Just thank you, yo. You could never imagine how low we was years ago, where we was at,
The odds were stacked against you where you grew up. The odds were stacked against you playing ball. The odds were stacked against you in your industry, and obviously you defeat those odds, dude. So it goes to show the power of the mind again, because I think you've had a resilient mind from the moment that you started probably grabbing a baseball bat at 7, and it shows, bro. Neno, why should somebody work with you specifically? What do you think some of the things that you as a leader have that sets you apart from everybody else?
I think the most important thing is reliable. I think in business there's a lot of temporary relationships, a lot of shaky stuff. The best thing you could have is somebody that you can count on, bro, in business. If you find 3 to 5 people that you can count on, that they're like, yo, whatever it takes, Joseph, we're going to go and run this up for, this many years is the best thing that you could have. And I think anybody that chooses to work with me, they're going to have somebody that they can count on, but also someone that's also going to lead by example. I'm never going to tell you to do something I'm not doing. There's a lot of people out there that just tell people what to do. I show people what to do.
That's awesome.
And I'm a huge person on accountability, because I never want to see you settle. My goal is to hold you to the highest standard. And if I ever see you below that standard, I'm going to call you and hold you accountable to make sure that you live on this standard only. Because if you want to live a life filled with excellence and abundance, you got to hold yourself at a high standard. So I'm there to hold you at that standard, because I'm holding myself at that standard. And if you're not, then you're holding me back. 100%. And I can't have people in my circle 100%. That are going to hold me back or, exactly, or be an anchor where you're going to slow us down. I always say, I'm not going to walk with you. I'm not going to jog with you. I'm only going to run with you. If you're here to run, you want to run this, you want to be here with me, you want to be here 5-10 years from now, then I'll be there with you. And that's what I just tell people. I'm always going to be there for them, extremely reliable, accountable, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to help you accomplish your goals, because your goals become my goals. So I don't get nothing from you, coming and then you leave a month later.
The one thing that people don't understand about network marketing is that if you don't earn, neither do we really, for the most part. And exactly. There might be bonus structure.
I don't get nothing from you.
But the real money is in the person earning.
And turning into a success story.
100%.
Because I've had many of them, like people that came into my business like I was, they became a success story. And today people come up to me crying, yo, Nano, thank you, bro. I was lost. I was confused. Lives, today, I was able to do this for my parents. I was able to put my kids in private school. I'm traveling the world now. And it was all because you led by example. Bro. You held me accountable. You were hard on me. You didn't let me settle. And that's awesome. And I just do my best to be the best coach, the best brother, the best, mentor that I can be for people.
That's awesome, dude. Last question here to wrap up, because I know we're coming on a deadline here. If you could go back to the day that you got hurt on the baseball field, and you, knowing what you know today, you could give Nano that day, well, you told me that exact date, whenever that was, what advice would you give a blown shoulder on the baseball field? Your dreams are basically gone in the snap of your fingers, in a flash of your eyes, they're gone. What advice would you give Nano then, knowing what you know now?
I would give him a Bible verse.
Tell me.
It's John 13:7. You may not understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, but later you will. And at the time,
powerful.
I didn't understand why. God, I worked so hard for this. I never cheated. I went to every practice. I ran every sprint at 100%. I went to every gym session. I never cheated. So I'm like, yo, why is this happening to me? Like, this was my dream. Like, yo, God, I had my parents counting on me. Everybody's counting on me. Like, why are you doing it to me? And at the time, bro, I went through, like, low-key, like, some depression because I didn't understand.
Of course. Can you imagine?
I didn't understand. And if I could go back and, like you said, talk to him, I would tell him that you may not understand why this is happening right now, but later you will. And now I do. Now I see it. I'm like, that baseball was meant to mold me, to teach me the skills, to teach me discipline, understand how to deal with failure. Baseball's a game of failure.
Right.
So teaching me how to deal with failure, how to build camaraderie, culture, be a leader, how to overcome obstacles and challenges. Like, it taught me the basic foundations of life that so many other people sometimes lack in life to develop. So, it was meant for it to teach me that. I had amazing experiences, and now I was able to take this and translate it to my life, my business, my career. And it's been the reason, why I've been so successful, because I came into this with all of those things already established. I didn't have to develop discipline. I already had that. I didn't have to develop, resilience. Resilience was built inside of me for the last 15 plus years. I was wired that way. That's my paradigm. That's my foundation. So when I came into this, a lot of these things, the intangibles that you can't teach people, I already had it. I had heart. Like I said, I had the never quit mentality, like all of that sometimes people lack in business. I had that naturally coming in. So it was easy for me to come in and just continue to do what I was already doing. Just, it's a different field. It's a different thing now, but it's the same concept.
Dude,
you
have a beautiful story. I am extremely honored and happy that you came by, dude. We got to do this again, and we'll do it. Next time we'll take 2 hours to make sure that we cover every part in detail. But bro, thank you so much, Nano, for coming on board, dude. I think you knocked it out of the park, bro. People are going to get a lot from this, and you're changing lives. You're impacting a lot of lives. Most importantly, you're living the life that you want in your terms, and obviously that's something that a lot of people want, and you are an example for people to follow, dude. So once again, bro, thank you for coming on, bro.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you for real, man. It means a lot that you invited me, because I love these things, and I want to give you a lot of credit too as well, because it takes a lot to, this was once a vision for you.
100%.
It was just like, yo, once it just came an idea, y'all should start a podcast.
Yep.
And like, look, now we're a couple episodes in, you're meeting great people, you're inspiring people, you're giving people the blueprint. So, it just goes to show that you have a great heart, and you have a great heart for people. So we thank you as well for all your service and love, my brother, for sure.
Means a lot, bro. Appreciate it.
Thank you, bro.
Shit.
Fire.